How many times have you been on LinkedIn Lunatics?
5 or 6.
Those are some healthy numbers.
My most recent appearance on there, though, they were like clowning on me pretty hard. I made a post. I was about to be in New York City. Objectively, like the most funny way to announce that you're gonna be somewhere is to be like, New York City, I'm about to be inside of you. People were like, what the hell? They were like, we don't like this syntax.
What's your LinkedIn hot take?
I don't think everyone should be having a personal brand. I see stuff and I'm like, y'all are boring.
You should stick to yourself, honestly. Even when I was trying to launch Event Shark, I had a full-time job. It's really hard to like promote yourself, create content while having a full-time job. How do you balance that?
When this was still like edgy and like not the norm, we're at a point where people really love like thought leadership on LinkedIn and they like celebrate it. So I think it looks bad for companies to be anti-personal brand. I think there's like
That's
a lot
so
of
true,
talk.
actually.
Yeah, a lot of talk about how valuable it is for organizations to embrace people who have that presence.
What's up, everybody? This is Jake Claire. It is Event Shark TV podcast, and I'm running solo today. No Ding Zang in the house. He decided he's going to go to New York for a client shoot, so I can't complain about that. So I get to hang out in Austin. And we got a special guest on. We got Amanda Nielsen, B2B creator, B2B comedian, B2B Thot for Thought Leadership.
Thought leader.
Thought leader. Thought leader. So to start it off, we got some sparkling water.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had... There we go. We got the Saratoga. This is a fan favorite. Ding likes to swap out the sparkling waters, but I've been a big fan of Saratoga, so we bring it back.
Yeah, I feel like we need like a lot of bananas and like a bucket of ice to like, you know.
Yeah. Have you done that?
No. I've got a much less unhinged routine for the most part.
What's your unhinged routine?
Well, I start my day usually at a different time every day.
Okay.
Depending on when my first call is. So sometimes it's early, and then I will usually, I'm not really like in the morning workout person, but if I have obligations in the evening, then I go to Pilates early, consume like at least several coffees before like 10 a.m. So I'm like really on edge and like
Big jitter person?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's usually what it looks like.
A lot of podcasts, they just kind of, we're going to hear about your story. We'll skip that whole part. We're going to just go into rapid fire questions. Are you ready for that? So how long have you been making content on LinkedIn?
Honestly, too long. I got a notification this year that it was like my like 9th year on LinkedIn, I think. I had to make it for like a school requirement. I was in like the business curriculum and everyone was forced to make a LinkedIn profile. And as part of like your capstone project, you had to like document stuff and start posting.
That's good that they were doing that to you in college.
Yeah, no, it was like extremely progressive. I actually like came out of school like with useful context as opposed to like everyone else who goes to a business school. So yeah, I guess like 9 years technically, which makes me feel really old.
Were you always, so for anyone that doesn't know, Amanda, she is self-proclaimed comedian. She makes some funny content on LinkedIn. And especially with LinkedIn, I think.
Comedian's generous.
Comedian. I mean, LinkedIn's, a lot of people are really safe on LinkedIn. I think you'd a full-time job and you're also be able to manage that with being funny, which I think is kind of walking a really.
It's really hard.
It is a hard line to cross. But respect to you, because I think most people would like to do that, but maybe are scared to do that. So props to you for doing that.
Yeah, I guess I like lack like a self-preservation instinct or something because it doesn't really occur to me to hesitate. I don't know. I've been doing it for a long time. I definitely started out like on the more like tame side. One, because like I didn't have shit to say. Like I was a college student. I didn't have like any experience or like credibility. So I started out when I had like my marketing internship, I would like post stuff about that, post on behalf of the company I was at. I'm like Gen Z, so I feel like oversharing and like being on social media and making that like a big part of my personality is kind of like comes with the territory. So of course, like when I entered the workforce, I was going to bring that in as well. And I was in really like the first generation of Gen Z to enter the workforce because I was born in 97, so I'm like the very oldest that you can possibly be. So this was all like super new when I first started out. Started posting, and as I like started to network more and like gain more followers, my content just gradually became like more unhinged and like a little more edgy as I gained that like credibility and experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 97 too, so I actually went to a real, did you ever go to a real office?
Yeah, which is
You
crazy.
did. So that, I mean, Ding talked about this a lot, where we were the last breed to go to the office before COVID. So
Yeah.
I think it gives you a lot of, I think, especially when creating content, like context, and you have that Gen Z elements, which
Totally.
has really helped me and Ding, and obviously you too.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It feels like a million years ago. But yeah, I would go to a real office every single day. And now I'm like, I don't think my dog would be really mad if I did that. He'd be so pissed.
These dogs are spoiled.
I know. Yeah, he's really an emotional guy. Anyways.
When did you start making like funny content? They said it was progressive, and was it cringe when you made it?
I feel like it's still cringe.
Still cringe. Yeah, that's the right answer.
Cringe is just like my lifestyle at this point, but it served me pretty well, so whatever. It would start out like, okay, like corporate and boring, but then I would like infuse a little bit of personality into it, or like a lot of like pictures of myself, not like a ton, but like this was in like 2018, the era of like the emerging like thought leader trope. It was like bald white guys in their mid 40s who were like posting like selfie videos walking down the street talking about like marketing and whatever. That like in the space I was in started to become like new and like really like on trend. And I was like, well, I'm just going to do that. And so I kind of like followed in the footsteps of some of those like early thought leaders, but I was like so different than them. And there were virtually like no other like 20-something like young girls doing it. So I think that definitely helped me stand out and build a following early.
So for anyone that doesn't know, you've really played on the word thought, because you have Thot Leader Labs, which is your merch company. And it's funny because Ding has had your unicorn mug for years. And he showed me this like 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But now I'm connecting the dots. That was you. So
that was me.
So you've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah. That's my store. The funny little origin story between like or behind the name is it was when there was office culture. It was my first job out of college. I worked at an agency, which is like, don't do that. But I did that. I worked at an agency, and it was kind of like working in a frat house. I was like on the sales and marketing side. So it was like mostly men. Everyone was like fresh out of college. There were like bean bags in the office and like a kegerator and like ping pong
table. There we go. Ping pong table, right?
Yeah. And they were like, we're a family, all that good stuff, when that was like cool and like not cringe yet. And I was like 21, so I was like, hell yeah, like I was leaning in. A lot of blurred lines. Anyways, but I was like friends with everyone that I worked with. And we didn't have, this was like before DEI even. So like this was new. I had a group chat with like a bunch of the guys on my team, and we would like send memes and shit. And one of them was like on the recruiting side, and some girl had like applied for my old intern role, and he had like looked her up on Instagram, and she was like ostensibly like a bikini model. And she had like all these like crazy pics. She was on like MTV's like Wild and Out, like all this stuff. Like just her Instagram was crazy. And he like sent it to the group and was like, hey, like look at this girl who like applied for Amanda's old role. And someone chimed in and was like, oh, like no one could ever replace Amanda as office thought. And I was like, what the fuck, guys? I was like, I wouldn't touch any of you with a 10-foot pole. Like what the hell? It was just interesting because I don't really know like how I earned that title other than just being like young and female, and like I don't know. It was just like kind of a wake-up call, because like all these guys I was really good friends with, they're super good guys, like super nice, but it just like occurred to me how even like really well-meaning nice guys will like low-key be sexist and not even realize how like hurtful and rude it really is. The like name Thought Leader was kind of like a taking back of like that insult, and then also just like a play on words on thought leader and the fact that most thought leaders don't look like this in our space in B2B SaaS.
Yeah, super clever.
Thanks.
So what are your top 3 merches on Thot Leader Labs?
In terms of like what I think is the funniest or my favorite, definitely the like big things coming, parenthesis, it's a newsletter. All of the merch on the site is really just inspired by like tweets that would go viral because I'm a big Twitter girl. Basically, the way the whole merch store started was people would be like, oh my God, this is so funny. Like put this on a t-shirt. And after enough times, I was like, all right, fine, I will. And then I did. And then people started buying it. And so it turned into like a little business. And that is really like what inspires like all the different sayings and phrases. So that like newsletter one, the tweet was like, men's bios be like big things coming. And the big thing is just a newsletter, which is true.
Yeah, everyone's dropping newsletter. I actually was like, dang, we got to do a newsletter.
No, I literally finally just launched mine. It's like the absolute bare minimum, like as very little effort as I can possibly get away with. Because I like hate newsletters, but I was like, I need to be.
With the owner audiences now.
That's what they say. And I've like been clowning on them for years. So, but now I have one. So I love that one. And then one that's really popular, I have a marketing background and marketing attribution is like a really hot topic. And I have like a thought that's basically like marketing attribution's fake. Like we made it up.
That's the one thing has the cup.
Yeah, marketers love that one because it is fake and we did make it up and it's literally just like nonsense. And it's just like a really debated topic in the space. So that one's really popular. I'm not in marketing anymore, so it's not as like dear to my heart. I'm not as passionate about the topic as I once was, but that one's really popular. And then the no need for data, just vibes. That one, I think I'm very much like a vibes girl. People are just too data driven to the point where they lose sight of like the things that are intangible or like hard to quantify, like charisma, for example.
Vibe marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Vibe coding, vibe marketing. Yeah. And so the no data, just vibes one kind of like touches on like that. And that resonates with people too. Yeah.
Very nice. I personally like the freaking the sheets one. It's a good
yes.
one.
Yep.
Freaking the sheets with a graph.
The spreadsheets.
The spreadsheets. If you're like a marketing ops person, it's pretty funny. Thot Leader Labs.
ThotLeaderLabs.com.
We had an idea. If you want to do a benchmark idea, we always talk, because it's like an agency, it's all about like delegation.
Yeah.
So something about delegate to scale, just don't delegate to me. Something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's true. I actually don't want to have to do anything. Nobody give me any tasks ever.
Yeah. Delegation is great, just as long as they don't do it to me.
Yeah, it's good when other people do it.
So is LinkedIn funny, or is it only funny if you are?
I think it's the latter. I think inherently LinkedIn is really unfunny and really boring, which is why when you are funny on there, that's why it works so well, because it's just so not what people expect, and it's not been the norm for like the majority of the platform's life. Being funny on LinkedIn is more of a personal thing than the platform itself.
How do you be funny on LinkedIn? For anyone listening, if I'm a funny person and I want to be funny on LinkedIn, what do?
Oh God, I don't know. Like I said, I'm like a real vibes person. I just post what comes to me, and like it is effective. I don't really, and this is bad, I should have a strategy, but I don't really have like a strategy. I kind of just have like core pillar topics that like I'm knowledgeable on, or like I like relate to, that other people relate to, and then I kind of just like riff off of that. I have like a really long, like never-ending notes app, stream of consciousness, where like anytime I like think of something funny, I like jot it down. And honestly, like a lot of my humor content just comes from like Twitter and stuff that I would tweet. I'll like take it and then turn it into more long form content.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter is where people are funny, and then give it a month and it'll be on LinkedIn.
Exactly. Yes,
so
that's
how you be funny. So just do that.
I like judge whether or not I want to participate in a meme trend by how quickly it makes it to LinkedIn. If it's making it onto LinkedIn within the day, it's not funny, and I like will not jump on board. Like the Saratoga water meme, that one got on LinkedIn like same day, and I was like, No.
Yeah.
I'm more into the deep cut memes, you know?
I mean, this is why this is not funny as Saratoga water, because this is really old now, so it's not funny. I think that's one of the beautiful things about humans is that, and why AI can't be funny. Like, either you're funny or you're not funny. Another funny person in the space, Aiden Brannigan, I was like sitting next to him, and I just saw how his mind worked with humor. I'm like, that's not, you can't teach that, really.
Well, and like ultimately, like your AI is just working off of what you give it. So if like it understands your writing and like your humor and like what you think is funny and like how you do jokes, then it can work. But if you're not funny and the prompts you're putting in and the content you're putting in aren't funny, then it can't be. It's impossible.
Do you use AI with your content?
Honestly, I use AI for like a lot of stuff. Like my emotional processing and stuff, but also like Google and all that. In terms of content, I will use it to like help me like spell check and like do like grammar and things like that. I generally will like have like, again, like my notes app, stream of consciousness, and I'll have different concepts, or like I'll have an idea that's like funny in my head, but maybe I like don't know exactly how I want to word it. Sometimes I'll throw that in and be like, what are ideas on how I could like talk about this topic? But for the most part, like it's all me.
Are you just ripping it? Like, are you really methodical with your content, or are you just off the dome?
Vibes only.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Like, I had a post yesterday. I just like made a post, and I was just like, usually I overthink it. I'm like, just throw it up there, and it's doing. Good, so.
Like the stuff that I think is like not even that funny is what is done best, and then like the posts that I think are gonna like crush it like flop. So there's really no method to it, and I'm kind of impulsive. I've been trying really hard the past like year or so to be, if not like strategic, at least very consistent, which I have been doing. I think consistency is probably like the most important element of like building a brand on LinkedIn.
100%. What are you posting, like once a day, twice a day?
Yeah, right now I'm a Monday through Friday kind of girl, like try not to miss. Sometimes I'll throw a meme in on the weekend, but
yeah, we're feeling crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a post go pretty viral. How long ago? 100,000 likes.
Oh yeah,
That's
was
crazy.
In like September, right? Like 100K likes on LinkedIn is like a bajillion likes on like other platforms.
That's 100. That's like
it's so
100 million on basically the equivalent. Like if I got like 100 million views on Instagram,
it's actually really crazy. Yeah, like in terms of impressions, because like I have like an Instagram. I'll get like 30K likes on my Instagram, and it'll only be like 300K impressions. Whereas that post, 100K likes on LinkedIn, is like 9 million impressions. So it's just really interesting, like the way the algorithms differ. But yeah, that was one that I literally thought nothing of. I did not think that was gonna blow up like it did. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's funny, but I feel
it's
like
just random.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like I feel I've seen other people copy this format.
Yeah, people copy it now. I'm like,
that was from you.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm the one that put that on the mug.
Yeah, I want my royalties. Yeah, I did make a mug with it. Yeah, anytime it's like people are like, oh my God, it's so funny. Like we want merch of this. So yeah, I immediately was like, mugs, stickers. But yeah, I think that one did really well because it was like relatable and lighthearted enough, and it encouraged people to like basically share their own wins. And when you can get people participating and like adding on to the joke, like that's when you really like can achieve virality on that platform.
Yeah, you gotta ask the audience something, or it's not like a rocket science to understand this. Everyone can relate to that. So I think I've never had a post even get close to that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny, like LinkedIn, after I like clowned on it super hard and it like blew up for like a month basically, they like announced they were like gonna stop doing those like ugly little visuals.
Yeah.
Or like, cause it's like your whole feed, every time you did anything, it would be like celebrate. And it was like that picture, like the other one, the people.
The pictures were so bad.
Yeah. And like they announced that they were like changing the way they did that.
Because of you, probably.
Probably.
Like people. What do you think about the LinkedIn video feed?
Sucks. It's so bad. It should be better, but honestly, like I don't know.
Have you seen the categories?
Oh yeah, like at the top they like are kind of
one was like emojis and corporate world. It's like, why is this a category?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I want video to work on LinkedIn, but like, I just don't know how. The feed is bad. The feed is really bad. It's like similar enough to TikTok, but not exactly correct. So it sucks. It's like either be like that or don't. And it's interesting, like they were really pushing video at first, like early in the fall. And now it feels like less so.
Yeah, it's like flopping.
And it's like whack. Like I had a video that I posted. It probably got like 200 likes and it has like 5 million impressions from like when they were pushing it super hard. But now when I post a video, it's like, I don't know. They don't do numbers like that.
Yeah, you got to pay to play now.
Totally.
Now, I see so much promoted content. I'm like, we're cooked.
Oh my God. Yeah, I keep getting this one. It's like a woman in like construction. I'm like, we need to fix the targeting. This is like not my niche.
Best part of LinkedIn, worst part of LinkedIn.
Best part of LinkedIn is getting to meet people. Like literally, that's how I know so many people. I mean, that's basically how I know you. That's how I know Ding. Although technically, I think Ding and I might have connected on Twitter first, but you know, they kind of cross over. Yeah, he's like an OG. I've known him for a very long time. Cool. But I've met so many like really great friends and peers. It's also a great way to like connect with people doing similar stuff. I think that like that's my favorite part of LinkedIn, being able to like meet people. And then when I'm like in your city, like being able to like sit down and do stuff like this is great. And just hanging out with people who have like similar goals and are working on really cool stuff. Then I'd say the worst part of LinkedIn, the cringe, like the true cringe, and just some of the like obnoxious, like really self-aggrandizing type content that you see on there. But honestly, even that, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, honestly, I'd like to see that stuff because I'm like, the bar is so low.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the bar is low. If you show like an ounce of like being interesting or having a personality, like people are like, holy shit, it's crazy. So yeah, it's an easy platform and it's still so early. And
it's still early. It's
crazy.
Yeah, I've been bullish on LinkedIn since Gary Vee was talking about it like in 2020. He's like, get on LinkedIn and TikTok. But
sound just like him.
Yeah, I've perfected that impression. LinkedIn's cool. I think I think social media in general is cool because you can kind of, if you use it the right way, you can kind of meet people that are into the same stuff as you and kind of curate your friend group and.
Totally. And I think LinkedIn is really interesting because like the value of your audience, I feel like is like so much higher because you know, you have like an Instagram account. It's like a bunch of burners and like people who maybe like don't even post anymore. They're not necessarily like certified like individual human beings. There's a ton of bots. But on LinkedIn, like for the most part, like you're reaching actual people with actual jobs, with actual buying power. So I think brands are starting to see that and like the value of influencers on the platform, which is like really honestly so new and super exciting.
Yeah, I saw you did something with Paramark. Was that like a partnership with them? Was that just random?
No, they just had reached out to like interview me just on like humor and
that's cool.
Satire and tech and personal branding. So I'll do like brand partnerships. Like I work with Fiverr right now because I use their platform a lot for just like random creative pursuits with like my side business stuff and then some other like partnerships related stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of the heyday of LinkedIn influencing, like really good time to do that kind of stuff.
Totally. Are we going to call Ding?
Yeah, let's call Ding.
Okay.
There he is. What's up, man?
Hi, Ding. We wish you were here. Oh my gosh.
Podcast is a lot less fun without you.
Yeah, what the hell?
Say something about Thot Leader Labs. What's your favorite merch?
You are tuned in to the Event Shark TV podcast, sponsored by Thot Leader Labs. My favorite piece, of course, got to be the marketing attribution. Is fake. We made it up mug.
It's a classic.
Greatest mug of all time. When I saw the mug, I said, "Wow, what a great mug." W's in the chat. Beast mug. Follow Thot Leader Labs. Follow Amanda. Go buy some merch. You know what it is.
All right. Thanks for your ad.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
But we're getting billed by the hour, so I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Ding. Miss you. Love. That's so funny.
people love creating content, but I used to have a full-time job, and even when I was trying to launch Event Shark, I had a full-time job. And it's really hard to like promote yourself, create content while having a full-time job. How do you balance that?
Yeah. I mean, I think times have changed a lot. When I was first starting out, it definitely ruffled feathers in my like W-2 job like years ago when this was still like edgy and like not the norm. As long as you're not like offending people, what can they say? Like, we don't like that you like made a joke. We don't like that you're like funny and cool and interesting and like have a personality. Like, what, that would be crazy. I think also now we're at a point where people really love like thought leadership on LinkedIn and they like celebrate it. So I think it looks bad for companies to be anti-personal brand. I think there's like a lot of talk. Actually. Yeah, a lot of talk about how valuable it is for organizations to embrace people who have that presence. And I know that like in my full-time jobs, it has helped people find the company I work for, or they'd say, oh, I didn't even know like this company did that, or like, oh, I found out about your company because I follow your content, or like, oh, I applied at your company because I love your, like that happens all the time. So overall, like I think it's a total net positive, but I know like some companies can be really weird about it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a company has someone that wants to post content and you're going to shut them down, it's huge. I mean, it depends if their content's bad or not, you know what I mean? But I totally agree. I think also that's one of the reasons why LinkedIn was so undersaturated a few years ago, because it was really risky for you to be posting on LinkedIn for your personally, unless you maybe were your own boss, but you could just get canceled like that and get fired, and then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah. Now a lot of people see it as like a huge asset. I think like really savvy companies who are kind of like ahead of the curve when it comes to social media see it as a total asset. I think some industries and like some types of companies like definitely lag and are much more conservative. You know, I work in B2B tech, so it's always been pretty progressive. But I think if you're working in, you know, something like legal or like healthcare, it'll be a long time before like thought leadership reaches those verticals.
Yeah, they don't want you talking publicly about if you're like a doctor or like a health person.
Yeah.
When I was creating content at my company, I like collabed with, other than the sales team, but I collabed with the marketing team. So I kind of like would run ideas by them, and then they were like super stoked on it. So I think there's strategic ways for you to, if you are at a company, to like work with the marketing team on ideas. But I mean, at the same time, that's not your personal brand that you're going to bring to. And that was one problem, was I got too attached to like my company versus like I wasn't my own personal brand. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something as well, because you want it to be, you're not going to, realistically, no one's going to be at a company forever.
Right, unless it's your company. Like, and you can't expect people to have as much stock in your company as you do as like an owner. Like, you can't expect people to take it as seriously as you do, like as like someone who's in like a leadership position or actually owns the business.
Yeah, and me and Ding were just talking about this because we might do this for Event Shark, but Alex Lieberman, his company, I forget what company it is, but they were incentivizing their employees to post on LinkedIn, and whoever had the most impressions like got like $1,000 spiff or something like that, which is genius.
I wish my company would do that.
Maybe it's just yeah. Well, of course, Amanda, you want that.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome. And like, I really think, as far as I can see, no negative impact. Like, unless you are offending people, which again, like LinkedIn, we're not like offending people on the platform. Like, I'm posting hot takes, but it's nothing where people are going to be like, I'll never use your enterprise software again. Like, you know what I mean? Because also like the type of business, it's like, it's business to business. So it's a company and they're investing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So there's no like simple like unsubscribe or like I'm going to cancel with enterprise software. So overall, it's really hard to like make a negative impact with one individual person's social media.
Totally. That's a tip for anyone making content. Just send it. This is the right time to do it.
Yeah. And even if you do offend people, that's okay too.
Screw them.
I mean, yeah, you can't please everyone. I think there's like a difference between being offensive and being like a little off-putting. I definitely like can be off-putting, I think, to some people. But overall, like, as long as you're not like being a like hateful bad person, it's like post what you want. And if you don't have people who are like hating on you or like posting you on LinkedIn Lunatics, like making fun of you and shit, it's like, well, you're not making enough content.
Yeah, no. How many times have you been on LinkedIn Lunatics?
Probably like 5 or 6.
Those are some healthy numbers.
To be fair, like for the most part, they're like not lunatic. It'll just be like stuff that's like kind of funny and blows up. My most recent appearance on there, though, they were like clowning on me pretty hard, which was funny.
What'd they do? What'd they say to you?
I made a post. I made a post that was like, I was about to be in New York City, and like I always like post and let my network know so that I can like arrange meetups like this. Objectively, like the most funny way to announce that you're gonna be somewhere is to be like, New York City, I'm about to be inside of you. Which is funny, right? I don't know. People were like, what the hell? They were like, we don't like this syntax. I think the caption was like, can this platform get any worse? And it's like, I don't take it too seriously. Like, I know it's cringe and I know it's like weird and like, that's why it works.
There's some good use of syntax right there.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I've been even trying to do that more with my content. I feel like I play it really safe. And even recently, I've been just trying to be more, you want like some debate, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, you had to be like polarizing to be noticed. And how you go about being polarizing, there's definitely like ways to do it with more tact. But I think overall, like if you're just agreeing with like the general sentiment that everyone already agrees with, there's nothing like noteworthy about it. And it's like, how are you going to stand out?
Yeah, exactly. You're not. You're just going to be another fish in the sea.
Yeah. So you either have to be like disagreeing with the general consensus on like whatever topic, or the way you show up needs to be different and again, like potentially a little off-putting or like unusual to people. And I think like those are kind of the two main ways to like gain traction, because inevitably there are going to be people who really agree with you or like really like the way you're showing up, and then there's going to be people who don't. And either way, it's good. You know, what do they say? All press is good press.
That's right. So how do you grow an audience in 2025 with more people getting on it? We're battling promotional posts. It's just getting harder to get reach. What's how you thinking about LinkedIn content? Or you're not really thinking about it that much. You're just kind of posting.
Yeah, I'd say not really thinking about it that hard.
Me and Dean have a business about doing this, so like, we talk about this all the time.
I think like business as usual for me. I again like think consistency is like the key. As long as you're showing up and you're posting something, that's like really the bare minimum. In terms of like the type of content, like I'm personally trying to do like more video, although like how video ends up working on LinkedIn is still to be seen. Like, who knows if it will truly become like a true video platform. But doing that, doing more collaboration with like other like creators, like these sorts of scenarios, I think is something that is like novel in the space. Like in the B2C space, you always see like crossover episodes of like, oh my God, my like 2 favorite influencers like met up at this thing and like they made a content thing together. We've seen that in the B2C space, but now we're starting to see that in B2B, and that's like very new, and like people love to see like a crossover episode. So I think that's a good way to stand out. And then, yeah.
Me and Dean called this, we had 10 bold predictions for the year. Not bold, but we had 10 predictions, and one of them was, this is the year of the LinkedIn crossover.
Yeah, a collab. Everyone loves a collab. And then I think like we're starting to see more almost like lifestyle content on that platform, but it has like obviously some sort of corporate or like professional lens, which is really interesting.
This is the 26 things that this marathon taught me.
Yeah. So like more of that, or like a day in the life as like a partnership manager, like, you know,
Have you
things
been doing
like
day in
that.
the life content?
I've been meaning to. Everyone's like, what do you even do? I work in partnerships. My title is partner sales manager, and everyone's like, what the hell is that? So it's like been on my like notes app, stream of consciousness, like day in the life video. It's been on there for like several months. I'll get around to filming it someday.
In life.
Yeah.
In life partnerships, man. Everyone's asking.
Everyone's asking. Nobody knows. I don't even really know.
It's like kind of like a consultant. No one really knows what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I get paid. I know that. And I get to network a lot, which is great. It's a really perfect career path for me personally.
Yeah, you just jump on calls and talk to people.
Pretty much.
It's not a bad job.
Yeah.
What's your LinkedIn hot take?
This one might be, I don't know, this might be mean, but like, I don't think everyone should be having a personal brand. Like, not everyone needs to build a personal brand. I don't know. I think now that it's much less risky or like novel to be posting about your personal life and like infusing some of your personality into LinkedIn content, I see stuff and I'm like, y'all are boring.
You should stick to yourself, honestly. Stick to your job. And
it's like, don't try and force it. Because I think a lot of people also get this guidance that like, if you're not creating a personal brand, like you're falling behind. And it's like, some people
There's
just
people
aren't.
like us that are telling you to create a personal brand.
But like, some people just aren't made for that. They're not good at it. They don't enjoy it. And they like have to like, because I get a lot of people asking me like, oh, like I don't want to post. Like I'm nervous. Like I need to, like, how do I make myself do it? And it's like you don't have to. Like there have been people who have been making really successful careers for like how many years without creating like a personal brand. I don't think that everyone necessarily needs to, unless it's like coming naturally to you or like you work in a space where it's like particularly advantageous. I don't think everyone necessarily needs to like work on a personal brand.
Sometimes it's better just to do your job well.
Yeah. And like, honestly, sometimes it can be like stressful. Like, I don't know.
It's work.
Being a creator is like not for everyone. And like being perceived publicly can be really hard once you get to a certain point. Like I'm like not even near the level of like some people. And even sometimes I'm like, damn, I got to shut the laptop. Like this is too much. Like I'll get people like saying stuff about me and I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes it gets to you.
It gets to you. Yeah, if you put yourself out there, you're going to get judged no matter what, positively or negatively. And there's when you're creating, there's pressures like, oh, this didn't get enough likes. You're depressed for stupid reasons. Like, this is dumb. This is just like a product of our own existence. I don't know how to describe social media, but social media is dumb anyway.
Yeah. And I love that, like, Tyler, the Creator quote. It's like, how is cyberbullying real? Just close the laptop. And it's like, it really is just that simple. But at the same time, it's like, I think being on LinkedIn and having like that professional lens or like tie to your career and like ultimately your livelihood and ability to make money, I think that really amplifies sometimes. Like when you do get criticism, it's like, oh, this isn't just like me. It's like my career on the line, so to speak. And I think that can be really hard.
Yeah. I also think why creating a personal brand on LinkedIn is very hard because there's so many tangibles coming in. There's so much factors. And there's a lot of downside as well. Eventually, it could be more downside than upside for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're, not me personally, but like I can imagine if you're like not funny or cool or interesting, it would probably have a negative impact.
Well, you can use ChatGPT to make yourself more interesting now.
Yeah, it's true. I think I get a lot of people who are like, what do I post about? And like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know, like your hobbies. So many people don't have like hobbies or like things about them. And I think that like, that's another thing. It's like, you got to be unique and you got to have stuff about you that is like interesting to people, but also like potentially relatable. So like I said, I have like my key pillars of like content and topics that I'll post about. But like, if you don't have enough to post about, it's like, well, be more interesting, get more hobbies. I don't know. Have more life experiences.
Have more life experiences.
Well, like I always have like stories and stuff. I've got like crazy stories from like LinkedIn of like being harassed or like clowned on or canceled or like whatever.
Are you the type of person to screenshot someone and put them on blast?
Not generally, no. Like I will do that once in a like blue moon if it's like really
I feel like
deserved.
I saw you do that recently.
Yeah, I did. It was like the first time in a long time because this guy, I forgot on what post it was.
That's so savage.
It was like such a harmless post. And this like random man with like 100 connections who like I didn't know at all commented this like really honestly super strange like hyper intellectual rant like calling me like vapid and like a valley girl and basically just like saying I was an idiot, but it took him like 500 words to get there. So it's like, who's the idiot really? And it was just super rude and it was crazy because it was like right there. It wasn't a DM. It was like on.
Maybe he doesn't know how LinkedIn works.
Potentially, yeah. I think, yeah. It could have been that. And it was just like so obscenely rude. And generally like people have like a sense of decorum on that platform. Cause again, like it's a professional platform. And like I personally wouldn't want to be like cruel like that and have my name attached to it and my job. But some people don't have that like instinct. And so I was just shocked that he like had the guts to say something like so rude to me. And so I like did screenshot it and was basically just like, this was honestly really shocking. And like, this is the meanest thing someone said to me in a while. And like, it's just a bummer because like, for me, I'm at a point in my career where like, I've been doing this long enough. I have enough credibility and like, I have a really like loyal like network and like follower base where like that doesn't ruffle my feathers. But if I got that kind of criticism publicly, like 5 years ago when I was just starting out, like that would have potentially stopped me. And it probably does stop people from sharing and like putting themselves out there. And like, that's such a bummer. So
yeah, it's kind of, it's good to shit on people that are just negative like
you know, sometimes people need like a verbal lashing publicly to like put them. It was really funny. Like people really went off because like what he said was so rude. My followers were like, what the fuck? They were mad. And they're mad on my behalf. Which
Send
like
the angry mob.
Yeah, like love them so much. Like that wasn't my intention. I wasn't like, go like attack this man. Like it was really more so just like, hey, remember that like your words actually impact people and might stop someone from like putting themselves out there. And like that's not cool. And people took to the comments and they went off. It was crazy. And you know, like if you're gonna be a dick and put your name and your job out there, like you gotta be prepared to face the consequences, I guess.
Yeah.
So
okay, so we will end here on. I'm gonna ask you to rank these social medias blindly. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Twitter.
1.
That's your number 1.
Are you gonna say LinkedIn?
No.
Okay, wait, 2.
No,
That's 2.
No. You already said it.
Fuck. Okay, 1.
YouTube.
4.
TikTok.
2.
LinkedIn.
That would have been 1.
Well, now it's 3.
Now it's 3.
You screwed this game up, but it's fine. Okay, then your last one would be Instagram.
5.
So your Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram.
I think if I knew ahead of time, YouTube would be last because I'm not a YouTube person. Like I never have been. I don't know what's wrong with me. It just doesn't.
Well, I think I'm like more on the side of YouTube and like I don't like TikTok personally. I don't really get in there. But I feel like you're either a TikTok person or a YouTube person.
Yeah, you either have like an attention span like a goldfish or like you're like a normal person.
Either you like to get intellectually stimulated on long form content or you're just like, dude.
Yeah, no, I have the brain rot.
Yeah. No. I just have a debate with my girlfriend because she's a big TikTok girl and I'm a big YouTube girl.
I feel like TikTok is like for the girls. I feel like there are some
100%.
things that are inherently for the girls and for the boys, and I think that TikTok is for the girls.
Yeah, and that's why my girlfriend just gives me like the weekly update of like what's going on TikTok, just so I'm aware of the trends.
No, I will do the same thing. I have like a little download document where like, because I have like a man who's like chronically offline, so that's where I like will curate tweets that I like, and I'm like, okay, here's the latest drama, like here's the memes that were trending, and he's like, nice.
Thanks. I'm happy doing my life without this.
For sure.
Like this is Italian brain rot. This is really important right now.
This is a key part of my personality, okay?
You got any final thoughts for the audience, Amanda?
If you want like funny corporate gifts, ThotLeaderLabs.com.
What's the discount code?
Thot Leader. I think that'll give you like 15% off.
Okay, try that.
It should still work. Give it a shot. If not, message me.
You code a bench shark and you get free merch.
Oh no. We don't operate like that.
Got you a hat.
It's pink.
A pink hat. There we go. That is a one of 2 hats.
Oh my gosh. Pink is my color.
Nice.
Oh my god, it's looking chic.
Amanda, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right. And if you like this episode better without Ding, let us know. Or if you missed him, let us know too.
I missed Dink.
We missed Dink.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of him. All right, deuces.